Hello and welcome to an extra, if you like. We like to explore what's going on around the world, and particularly in the world of stunts and action. And if you cast your mind back to 2006, you will remember this. Yes, Adam Curley behind the wheel of the Aston Martin in Casino Royale, and it's cannon rolled 7 times down the road. Originally, it was going to be a ramp. The ramp went from 6 inches, 8 inches to 18 inches, and if a car doesn't want to turn over, it won't turn over, particularly an Aston like that one, which is pretty much a race car made for the purpose of road using, and its electronic brain deciphered that it was going beyond the point of no return and effectively corrected itself. So when it went on the ramp, Adam flicked the steering into the ramp. He's coming up the right-hand side, flicks the wheel, and the onboard computer went, "Whoa, mayday," and then stuck a leg out somewhere, and it didn't go anywhere apart from sliding off into the distance. And all Adam said that he could see was members of the crew running in various directions in high vis. Well, they did it again. And they did it again using a cannon. They stuck a cannon behind the driver's seat, and he would operate it manually, getting up to a speed 70 miles an hour, and being able to slide the car, hit the button. The nitrogen then fires out the piston onto the ground, and over it goes. And in fact, in the footage there, you can still see that leg being fired out, and it's still hanging there underneath the vehicle. 7 rolls, and remarkably, and I think it was Gary Powell that said at the time that there had been a car show, British car show. I don't think it was Top Gear though. I think it was one of maybe the Channel 5 one. What was that called? Fifth Gear, that was called. And they rolled a car 5 times. And at the time, that was a record, we believe. And Gary knew that it was at least 2 more than that, so they went and checked the details as far as that was concerned, and were confirmed at having a Guinness World Record. Now, I know a little about Guinness World Records, as some of you may know, because last year I was very lucky to be asked to become an advisor on the Guinness Book of World Records, stunt advisor particularly. We designed the double-page spread that's in the 2024 edition, and it contains that particular cannon roll. Well, in the 2025 edition, it won't, because, as you may know, we've talked about it here, the movie The Fall Guy comes out in May, I believe, May of this year. And you've seen it in the trailer, not to its full extent, but you've seen it in the trailer, and they've broken a record. Logan Holliday is the stunt driver, and he is driving the truck along the beach, doubling for Ryan Gosling, and he hits the button, and it goes. It's a cannon, it fires it down the beach, and it rolls 8.5 times. 8.5 times. That's really impressive. Bearing in mind the conditions they're in, the sand, right? So traction's always, it's an off-road vehicle, but nonetheless, Adam was in a sports car on concrete, and Logan is in a truck on sand. Why sand? And that's an interesting point, because the director of the movie is David Leitch, a former stuntman, as you know, stunt coordinator. Brad Pitt, stunt double for many years. And they're wanting... This movie is an homage to the stunt business. You do a movie about stuntmen, you throw stunts at it left, right and centre. And they've said in interviews that this was an homage to stunts and stunt performers over the years. Now, the beach is, I think, significant, because the first ever cannon roll, which was ever performed and captured on screen, was on the movie, John Wayne movie, McHugh. We've covered it here. It's in the videos if you want to check it out. And it was 1974, and in the take, it was driven by the late, great Gary McClarty, who was sat behind the wheel and hit the button, and the car went down the beach in this John Wayne movie. If you know the story, you will know that Hal Needham was responsible for the testing of the vehicle. Billy Burton was there at the time, and they were all trying to work out, because it had never been done. You turn a car over back in the early 70s, it's a ramp, you know. It's a ramp, you know. It's a concealed ramp, or it's a physical ramp, whatever it is. But that's how you used to do it. So the idea of coming up with this, and Yakima Canutt partly responsible for the idea behind it, because on Where Eagles Dare he was using tension cables on the front axle of a vehicle. I'm reminded very much of the airport sequence. Across the tarmac there are planes, there are jeeps coming across, and they are cabled to a stationary point, and at some point the car then almost changes direction completely, but it is so violent that the car then turns over. I think a great many of those on those occasions had dummies in them. They hadn't even got to the stage where they could test it properly with somebody in it. So it's the beach sequence, and they're going to do this. They're going to turn the car over on the beach in this John Wayne movie, McHugh, and Hal Needham's testing it, and he says to Gary McClarty, who is behind him in a truck, he says, "I want you to push me. Push me, push me, push me, get to a certain speed, and then back off." And he backed off, and he got to the point, and he fired it. Now, the first time he did this, the car went up and down. Back end went up, back end came back down, and they said, right, we'll double everything, which is not the way you use explosives. You can't, black powder particularly, you can't afford to just double or just make the quantity bigger. And Billy Burton was saying, in fact, Billy might have been in the car at the time with Gary as they pushing him along. He said, right, push me, push me, push me, and then he's way back off. So they got him up to speed, and then he backed off. And when he hit the button, and I'm quoting here, Billy says, we had to look up because we couldn't see him anymore. It just took off. And it landed horribly about 35 yards down the road. And he was in a bad way. You know, Hal was a tough guy, but was in a bad way. So anyway, that's how the ingenious idea of the cannon really started. Then it was done on that movie. Gary McClarty did the turnover. And subsequently, here in The Fall Guy, they have done it again, and they have done it this time and taken the Guinness World Record for car turnovers, complete rolls, and you have to count the rolls as they go over, but they are complete rolls. Here is the world record cannon roll turnover right here.
Logan's good.
It's impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. No doubt about that. And Logan also being presented with his certificate, his official certificate, because the Guinness Book of World Records would then adjudicate, and they would go and check that out and make sure that everything was above board and that everything was right. And they have presented him at the premiere with his certificate confirming that he is now a world record holder. 8.5 rolls out of a vehicle. Bear in mind, that's the second take. They did 2 takes. The first, which is available, but it kind of just went up, and it was a spectacular roll, but it wasn't what they were looking for, and that's a very interesting factor. The roll that happened when he hit the button the first time was sensational, and on any other movie and in any other production would have gone, oh yeah, absolutely, we've nailed it, print that one, we definitely got this. But David Leitch and the rest of the guys on the production and the stunt coordinators, they got together and they said, I reckon we can go better and we can get more rolls. So this was in their mind when they were trying this. This was something they thought, yes, this is definitely something that is going to happen and we can make it happen. So they went again with another vehicle, presumably, and produced that, which is unbelievable. So after, and you saw my review of the trailer when it came out, so after my concerns about the trailer and how, it's a bit limp, a bit lackluster, now having seen this, I'm really excited about it. Chris O'Hara, incidentally, one of the stunt coordinators on this, lovely guy. I'd interviewed him many years ago, and the amount of work that he's done over the years in connection with these type of movies is second to none. And Logan's worked with him on a number of occasions as well. Stuff like Day Shift, of course, which was very very popular back last year, was it? Yes, at the Taurus Awards. Ambulance, Bad Boys for Life, he's a driver on that. 6 Underground, Fast and Furious, the Hobbs and Shaw picture, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, even in a movie called Logan. Logan Holliday is in Logan. Of course he is. So, whenever there's been a driving picture of some shape or form, he's been there. He is very well respected within the Stunts Unlimited community. And Stunts Unlimited, of course, is the organisation that Hal Needham started way back when. It's great to see that they've kept up some of those traditions for this Fall Guy movie. So it's May. It comes out in May. Revel in the fact that we've got a new world record. I wonder if Adam Curley or anybody else of that nature who was around and doing stuff. Adam's a stunt coordinator now, probably doesn't do as many actual gags as he used to back then. But I must speak with him and see if that grates a bit. Does he get up in the morning and go, I'm not the Guinness World Record holder anymore? Right, I'll put a stop to that. Or does he just go, well, stuff happens, which I suspect he probably would have done. So there we go. A little bit of extra information for you. It's all go this week, isn't it? And stay safe. And if you are going to go out driving, don't do that. please. That's not great. Only under specialized supervision should you be attempting anything like that. So until next time, take care. Bye for now.